What was your
Yeah.
first email address?
maacha9@hotmail.com.
What is that?
I didn't know how to spell mocha.
Jonesy and Ray, just wondering.
Welcome back to Just Wondering podcast, where we will surprise each other with whatever topics come to mind. We literally know nothing and have made a rule to never research before recording. So buckle up.
We're your hosts. I'm Jones.
And I'm Ray. And Jones, I was just wondering about the internet.
Well, the internet is worldwide. The World Wide Web.
Yeah, it goes outside of the world too, though, right? To satellites and stuff.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Doesn't it?
I suppose it does, and like to space. I was gonna say to rocket ships, but I'm sure it goes to rocket ships too.
It probably does.
Is there a difference between a spaceship and a rocket ship?
Well, I think so, because I think the rocket ship is like when it gets shot up.
Oh, okay.
And then I think a rocket ship can be a spaceship as well, but I think they can even drop off the rocket part of it.
Okay.
But it's like what propels it.
Okay.
A spaceship doesn't have to have rocket power. It can just, once it's like out of the atmosphere and there's no gravity or like less gravity or whatever, then I think it can just zoom around or else get stuck in the orbit, maybe.
Okay. That was a little bit off topic, but I just thought about it. The internet is crazy. I don't understand even one minor thing about it. I just don't understand how these like waves in the air make my computer connect to other people.
Yeah, like for example, right now I am in like the middle of Toronto and you're in the east end of Toronto and we're just talking live and can talk to each other and see each other, and I don't really understand.
I don't understand any of it, like just technology in general, I guess. But I guess also the internet is crazy too because it's so fast. You essentially have anything that you want to know at your fingertips within minuscule seconds. We never research anything, obviously, but other people might.
I used to research stuff quite a lot when I was living at my folks' place because they have like the really, really thick dictionary and a couple encyclopedias and stuff. If I was wondering about something, I would actually just pop up and grab the book off the shelf, even though I had a cell phone in my hand and with like Wi-Fi right there, but I just automatically grab a book and just flip through it.
Not me.
And they're very out of date too. So like there's going to be stuff that's like wrong or irrelevant. And like, that's a cool thing about the internet is like, as things develop, it's like already available.
It's just crazy. Like it's such a confusing topic and such a confusing thing. I can't imagine a world without internet. Like every time, like if my Wi-Fi is down or it's not working, I'm like, there's nothing to do. Your whole life, or not, maybe not yours, but my whole life is essentially centered around the internet.
I would say mine is too. There was a day at my work where the internet went down, which you don't think like being in a coffee shop, it's like really incredibly essential, but our POS uses it and it's integrated with our website, which is live and ongoing. So if someone purchases, for example, 1 pound of coffee, if it's the last pound and our internet's down and we don't know someone bought it online, then we could oversell it. And then like, that's just like a whole bunch of problems. And then you have to email the person. But if the internet's down, you can't be like, hey, like we don't have it after all.
Because you can't send an email because you don't have any internet.
Yeah. There was a problem with my debit terminal, which also is connected by Wi-Fi to the bank. Also, you should be able to turn on the data, the cellular data, instead of using Wi-Fi. And so I pushed the button to turn on the cellular data and it said turn off data. So I'm like, okay, so it's clearly on. So then I even just tried with my own card. I charged myself $1 and it was like, no, there's no internet connection. And I was like, okay. So it was like, get help. And it was like, connect to the internet to get help. And I was like, okay. So then I used my phone to look up the phone number and then I called and it was like, if you're having a problem, we'll email you a one-time code. And I was like, but my internet's down.
Yeah, I can't
in the building.
use email.
So then I ended up, because I luckily have a really good phone plan, I hotspotted the entire store. We got new internet. It works now. That's fine. When the guy installed it, I was like, while you're here, do you know how to turn this like POS thing onto data instead of onto Wi-Fi? And he was like, I actually don't. I'm like, but I'm never going to need to do that, right? Because you fixed the internet. And my boss was looking at me like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, it's just like such a crazy thing to think about. And I remember being a kid and the internet wasn't like, it was around, but it wasn't as accessible or as
When I was
popular.
a kid, I feel like it wasn't around.
It definitely was. It just wasn't like, not every house had it. Not everyone had internet. And if you did have internet, it was dial up and you couldn't use the phone and the internet at the same time.
When was the internet invented? In the 80s?
I think in the 80s.
Yeah, and then it was kind of like common in most households by like the late 90s.
Or like early 2000s, maybe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I remember like when I was a kid, we did have a computer and it did have like internet, but like barely. And I was the only, like one of my only friends that I knew that had it. And that's when I was young. But I feel like by the time I was in like grade 5 or 6, which would have been like 2003 or something, the internet was around. We were on MSN Messenger, looking for our crushes, heart, star, heart in our usernames, you know? What was your first email address?
MAACHA999_9 @hotmail.com.
What is that?
I didn't know how to spell mocha. My like one that's connected to my Facebook that I still use is dramaqueen @hotmail.com, like with other like underscores and numbers and stuff. But
no, I remember you got a Jay from camp sent you an email, not like maybe like 5 years ago, but it was to that email address because I was like, oh, didn't you get Jay's email? You're like, what? No, I didn't get it. He didn't send it to me.
All of like my friends that are over the age 60 still email me at that email address.
My first ever email address was tmlforever25 @hotmail.com. Toronto Maple Leafs forever. And then
was it forever?
No, it wasn't because my parents made it. But then the first email I made for myself was x.theused.x.
Sounds right.
Because I was part of the band, obviously. So it was very identifying. People always get at me for my email now because my personal email is at live.ca. Why do you use Live? Why don't you use Gmail? First of all, an email is an email. I'm like, what's the difference? It's just a different platform. But I was like, I also have one of the most popular names in the world, I'm pretty sure. So if I have a Gmail, it's like my full name and I have to put my fucking social insurance number in there. But my email is just jones.nicole. Like, that's way easier.
You know what's crazy? On Gmail, you don't have to put the periods. So you could just email me at justwonderingpodcastray@gmail.com and I'm gonna get it. I did not believe that was a thing. And I was like, no, my email address has dots in it. And he emailed me without putting the dots in and I got it right away. And I was like,
is that just for Gmail?
I don't know.
So then why do they let you even put dots? I guess it's just easier to split up words.
Yeah, so it's easier to look at and remember.
Interesting.
Because I was like, no, if you don't put the dots in, that's someone else's email, right?
That's what
like
I would have assumed.
Yeah.
Apparently not. There's just so many crazy things you can do. And it's crazy that like on the internet, you can be talking to someone on the other side of the world. Mm-hmm. Like we could video chat your sister in Australia right now if we wanted to. She could be on this call live with us.
I don't think she wants to talk to us at like 5 a.m.
No, probably not.
I was wondering like, what is the difference between like Wi-Fi and data?
I guess like cellular data in itself is a form of Wi-Fi.
Yeah, because well, it's not connected by wires as far as I saw. Like I didn't see the wires going.
What does Wi-Fi stand for?
Wireless free or something. I don't know.
Wireless internet free internet. It's not free.
No, I don't know what Wi-Fi stands for.
I would imagine the W is wireless internet.
Yeah, because it's not dial-up anymore.
Yeah.
You were previously talking about dial-up. And you know what's really funny? So we had the internet when I was a kid, like not a young kid, but like we had it probably for like 5 or 6 years. And then my dad's like, we need a new Ethernet cable. And I was like, Dad, why are you saying internet like you're an alien? Ethernet. And he's like, no, that's the thing. And I was like, sure, Dad.
Yeah, okay.
I thought I'd never heard something funnier in my life than my dad talking like an alien saying internet and like jokes on me Ethernet is a thing, but like what is Ethernet?
I don't know.
It's just like the cable that goes from the wall into the computer and then there's internet. So I'm like, why is it called Ethernet?
I have no idea. Why wouldn't they just call it an internet cable? I don't know. Yeah, and it just is like, sometimes I don't understand Wi-Fi either, because like you will be in like one spot, but then if you move 6 inches, then it's like too far and it doesn't work. And like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening? Or you have to restart. I'm like, what? Why? What's happening? Or like it'll be working and then you just cut out for no reason. You're like, what? Explain yourself. I don't know what you are or who you are, but I need an answer.
I have something called like fiber optics, and I don't know what that is either.
I think that's the type of cable that is used to bring the internet from the outside into your house.
And then we have these little hexagons that like just plug into any outlet, and it's like a booster. So there's like a modem somewhere in the building, and then we have all these little booster modems all around as well.
I have a Wi-Fi extender.
It's pretty cool because, like, for example, I can bring the little plug with the extension cord outside and extend the range of the Wi-Fi. I can bring it wherever. I mean, like, probably I can't bring it to like your house, but like,
Yeah, imagine.
yeah, I wonder how far I can take it. I should take it on a walk and see.
You should take it
With like, I guess it's like as long as the extension cord, right? Because do you think it has to get plugged into the building?
I don't know. Would it
Or do you
know
think
that?
I could plug it in somewhere else? I don't know.
I can't. I don't know.
I'm gonna bring it on a field trip and see.
And the internet is so crazy now too, because literally anything is at the tip of your fingers. You can pretty much get whatever you want whenever you want it, which is wild.
So also, I was thinking about on Monday, there was a huge outage, right, from Rogers, like for data or whatever, right? Not for Wi-Fi.
And for phone calls.
Right. So like they're just like cell service, I guess, was out.
Yeah.
The whole day, basically, because I had a customer come in around like 7:15 on Monday morning, and he was saying, oh, like neither of my phones are working. He has a work phone and a personal phone. But then none of the packages at my work were picked up, because we use a local delivery service. And I didn't really think very much of it. Then I tried to order food for dinner on Uber Eats, and it just kept not letting me order because there was no drivers in the area. And I was like, I waited like an hour and I kept checking back. My roommate said, well, it's probably because a lot of the drivers are with Rogers.
Yeah.
So they're not able to get any notifications. So the people that rely on actually their data plan as their livelihood were really screwed.
I didn't think about that at all.
If I was an Uber driver and I was with Rogers, I would be really pissed about that outage. Like, I know like people that don't rely on their cell phone for their livelihood, I know they were also pissed. They were like, well, it's an inconvenience.
But it's not
like,
the same.
Yeah, it could have been really detrimental to some people.
Yeah.
For safety, I was worried about some people, but I wasn't even really thinking about people who rely on it for work.
No, that's wild. And it was Canada-wide too. And we're pretty lucky that we're in a metropolis in a huge city, that there's other ways to access people. But if you live in the middle of nowhere, you'd be almost kind of screwed.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I did see a post on like Narcity or BlogTO or something that was talking about how Rogers is doing some sort of credit system for people, but I imagine that it would be like you'll get like 1 day refunded off your bill, but like what
about people who lost income for the entire day because of
it? Like that's, I wonder, I don't know, I didn't read it because again I was like,
well, they won't be able to compensate that much, right? And like for each person, it would be such a hassle to then report what their lost income would be. But I don't imagine that Rogers will be able to like compensate all those people for lost income if they weren't able to do their job because service is out.
It's just such a crazy thing. I don't know. Just think about how dependent we are on it, how reliant we are on it, just on those services, especially right now in a time where you're not allowed to see people. So your only form of communication is through cell phones and internet, really. Like I know someone who is big on like talking on the phone all the time, and they had a really hard time on Monday. They're like, can't call anyone. And I said, no one wants to talk to you anyway, but it's okay. I'm happy that my phone didn't go out. I mean, I actually didn't go anywhere on Monday, so it wouldn't have mattered regardless. But
I do think we're going to have to make this a 2-part series because something I'm still really, really wondering about is the cloud. And we didn't have a chance to talk about it in this episode. So next week, we're going to continue on the topic of internet and hopefully get into the topic of the cloud because it turns out it's not outer space.
Yeah, I think that is like its own thing.
It is its own thing. And so like we'll get a bit deeper into that. If you guys can give us some like tips on the internet, we'll follow up with that as well before we get into the cloud. So if you guys have any internet knowledge, send it our way. We'll do like a recap and then get into the cloud.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit more. It's a crazy topic, but it's not like haha crazy. It's like, whoa. crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just everything. Smart homes. You can like preheat your oven from your cell phone.
Yeah.
Like what? That doesn't make any sense.
It might have to be a 3-part series. We might need to do smart homes as well. Wow.
It's just crazy. I just was thinking about it right now. I was like, this is too much. This is too much. But yeah, this will be a little starter. And then we want to know the things that you guys want to know about the internet too. What are you just wondering about the internet, so that we can go into a little bit more depth about this all. So yeah, let us know.
Before we go, what are you drinking?
Today I am drinking Waterloo Tart Cherry Radler. I love it so much. It's so good. I don't know why. I was trying to like let it focus on this and not my face. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking Henderson Pearson Express IPA. It's really refreshing. It's delicious.
Nice. Cheers.
Cheers.
You see how I'm holding this and why?
I see and I don't know.
Let us know what you want to know about the internet. We'll speculate about it. Let us know if you know anything about the internet, I suppose. You can email us at justwonderingpodcastray@gmail.com.
You can.
To make it easier, if you want to do justwonderingpodcast.ray@gmail.com, that will also work. And you can follow us on Instagram at just.wondering.podcast. That one does need the dots. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do it. All on the internet. Okay, bye.
Peace. Welcome back to Dust.
Dust. Another one bites dust.